yourself?
Yes, my name is Rachel Brown, and I am from San Francisco, California, born and raised Bay Area. Hi, listeners. Nice to meet you guys. Excited to be here.
And I got introduced to you through a mutual friend of ours, Angelo.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Angelo was a guest previously, and a friend from mine from the army, and I'm really interested that you were in Antarctica with him. And after we get done talking about Gen X stuff, we got to go into Antarctica because I think there's a lot of conspiracy theories there. I think
You got to
there's
know about this
aliens.
weapon that's under the
Yeah,
ice.
there's a
We got to figure
weapon
this
under
out.
there, all that stuff, right?
The flat
So
Earth.
yeah,
Yeah.
so so you're a Gen Xer. What do you love about Gen X in the '80s specifically?
Hmm. That's a fair question. I feel like a little bit like I straddle the line between like a late millennial and a Gen Xer. Um to be honest, I'm really into fashion. And I feel like lately that's where my mind has been going into the generational things. So the 80s was definitely known for the big shoulder pads, like it's sort of revered as like in the fashion world, it's like, ooh, the 80s. Which is interesting because in my experience, which I distinctly remember that decade, I remember literally like looking around, at least when I was growing up, and we had almost like a uniform, which I kind of see now, like on the playground with my little girlfriends, and um, it's like everybody wore Keds and like those little white socks. I don't know how to describe it, but I remember getting a sense for myself looking around in the 80s that there was not a lot of expression. There wasn't a lot. It was sort of like everybody, there was a lot of conformity. So I think it's interesting. Like on the one hand, 80s is kind of has a distinct look, which I think MTV was super influential about. But also for me, I'm like, whoa, like there was not a lot of individuality that I experienced at that time. So yeah.
So what?
In
We
your
saw that.
area, there was a lot of like Stepford dressing. Everybody kind of towed the line. Everybody wanted to
The
match.
white t-shirt, the denim, the Keds. Yeah, that's how it felt to me. Like I remember being like, "Oh my god, what a like a sense of like I didn't say it out loud, but it was like a sense of like, oh, what a boring decade." And another thing that's popping into my head, which I know I'm going out on a limb here, um I remember when Madonna, so it's like Madonna, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, George Michael's, a few others, they were like kind of like ruling the scene. They were like the popular kids on the music playground at that point, for me at least. And um, I remember when Madonna wouldn't own the word feminism. So somebody was like, "Are you a feminist?" And she was like, "No." And she's like, "I'm a humanist." So I'm just mentioning that as like it's like a kind of like a point of like identity. Like feminism was not embraced. That word, whether you like it or don't like it, wasn't something people felt comfortable owning after a few decades of really fighting really hard for it. Like trying to like get our part of, get that power, at least on some levels. So it's like I feel like we go on these dips and waves, and like that was a little bit of a Stepford wave. Um, we came out of it, and then I think right now we're back in it to some degree because the Gen Zers are very simple. Like they want, maybe COVID was a part of it, but it's like denim t-shirts. Like I've just seen like flocks of them. I've never seen anything like it in like a magazine. It'll show a picture of like a young starlet, and she'll be wearing like a t-shirt and jeans, and it'll be a discussion about fashion, and I'm like, there's no fashion here. So that's my spiel. I need to get that
Was
out.
do you think that was that? And I don't know anything about any of this because I don't. But they say that we're in third wave feminism. I'm not going to pretend to
Yeah.
know what any of that means. But would that have been the beginning of first wave feminism? I guess
I think it
after
was
Madonna.
second. I think it was
Second.
second because, and I don't have a I don't have any background. I don't have a lot of education. So you're just getting like one participant's opinion, but like I think it was second, like the first. Yeah, I mean, I just think of like Miss Magazine, like in the 70s and the 60s, which was really about like women owning, I don't have to be a Mrs. Like that's not going to define me. That's not my only role. What if I don't want to just be a Mrs.? I can be a Miss. So sort of like taking back some identity, especially in the working force. So it was like really exciting time and totally awesome. But it's just fascinating. Like ooh, just hearing myself, a little echo. So it's just interesting that there's a lot of like there's a lot of fighting and overcoming, and then there's a couple, maybe a decade or two of just sort of surfing on that level that you gained, and you're like, yay, and you're like enjoying, like I can be a Stepford wife, or I can be this or that, and then like I think the next beginning starts.
Yeah, I think looking here, I just pulled it up real quick, or a quick search. It says the second wave feminism globally began in the 60s, but lasted through the early 80s and 90s. So you were right.
I think you were hitting the wall or the end of that pendulum swing. And
Yeah.
I think what you were pointing out was Madonna going, ooh, well, maybe we're kind of at the end of this arc. Do we need to separate any further? And she was just trying to figure out where that swing was going to end so she didn't fall off, so she could ride it back in the other direction.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like she wasn't, it was like, it's just really interesting. All those little like things, those little distinctions, I feel like. Yeah, she at that point when she was asked that question, and I don't know what she maybe 20 years later would have identified as a feminist, and then maybe now she wouldn't, because I don't think we're in that era at the moment.
She's done pretty good at riding every up and down, right?
Totally.
If you think of it, 40 years, 50 years, how long is she doing it now? She's
and I don't think she was lying to like avoid something that wasn't good for I think she genuinely did not feel like a feminist.
Well, that's where she was in her life. I mean, for her to exist this long, she kind of has to be a social chameleon, don't you think? Right, wrong, or otherwise, she just has to be a part of the zeitgeist.
Or have a lasting brand, which I believe she's done. She's built a lasting brand.
And if you're a smart artist, right, I want the most people to buy my shit, right? So I'm going to kind of maybe roll with the punches. I don't know.
Huh.
Interesting.
I mean, Picasso was amazing, but he died broke. He wasn't popular until after he died. I think she's like, no, I want to enjoy this now.
Missing an ear too, right? Isn't he the one that cut his ear off?
No, she's got both of them, I'm sure.
No, I know Madonna has both.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know Madonna has both. I believe Madonna
When
has
she
both.
has the plastic surgeon to ensure
they look real. If they're not.
Hey, maybe that's something to bring up right now. So we have this we say Madonna. We say the name Madonna. What does that image invoke in you when you say Madonna?
Yeah, great question.
Uh-oh. Wow. We got an echo.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, is it still there? Yeah, it's weird. It like
it just pops up.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
That's okay. That's what these trial episodes are for live.
I'm monitoring the chat. Nobody's saying anything about it.
No one said nothing yet. Great. Okay,
we're
good.
Hey, chat.
Yeah. So you.
Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
So you. I say Madonna. Jeremy, what image comes to mind when I say Madonna?
There's actually two for me. I'm not a big Madonna fan. I don't even think I own a single record or CD or tape. But I take that back. I do own one. But Madonna, I always think of her at Live Aid because she sung on stage with the Thompson twins. They played with her. She played with them. That is what I think of when I hear Madonna. But also, as far as credibility and music, all those songs that she did in the 80s, if you kind of look at the inner sleeve, you'll see like a lot of the same producers that were being used by a lot of other artists were in there. So I don't know if Madonna could play a single guitar. I don't know if she could play a piano. I don't know if she could play a drum. We will never know, because all we know is that she gets up with a mic and she dances around and does her thing. However, it wasn't until 1999, I think it was 98 or 99, she came out with the album Ray of Light, and it's one of the best albums of all time. And I say that because definitely the producer, but she really did some things vocally that I don't think any other female vocalist could challenge at the today. I just don't see it happening without the use of some sort of what is that, auto tune jazz. So anyway, but yeah, there's two sides of Madonna. Think about, okay, the Madonna that wasn't very serious in the 80s, which is where she made her money. And then you've got this Madonna that came out with this one album, and it went platinum, but it, people don't really remember it. Kind of came and went, but it was a really good record.
Does anybody here picture the kind of plastic constructed Madonna of today that you see on social media real quick and everything? I mean, when you say Madonna, do you think the modern 2025 to 26?
Young, the white gloves, the white lace glove Madonna.
Only when I see the Saw 3 movie cover do I think of, because you can do so much and it's horrifying. Bless it. She was so gifted with what she had naturally. She didn't need to do that. Just you can't resist aging that bad.
What is that?
It's going to happen.
What is you generally see it from, or am I just tone deaf to everyone around me and I don't go out enough and everyone's getting plastic surgery? Maybe, I don't know. But is that a celebrity thing? Because you think you're keeping your youth, but I mean, does anyone believe that you look youthful that way? I don't know. Well, guest, Rachel, what do you have to say about plastic surgery? And
okay, so I think it's very difficult to negotiate, like, being so impactful, like visually one of the most stunning women. She's made images that I probably haven't even been exposed to that are like mind-blowing. So yeah, I'm sure that's really tough. I think I look at her as a woman who does what she wants. I don't see her, I don't think she ingratiated herself to the public. I don't think, like, she wasn't Britney Spears who had to play that good girl. She's not Taylor Swift. So as far as like what she looks like today, I mean, I can just see her going, let's do one more. Like, let's roll it again. Like, let's try again. It's unfortunate. I think
women may fall more susceptible to that too,
for
right?
sure.
I mean, they're put to the highest standard where men can get, look at the men in the industry.
No,
they're not 20. They don't.
Yeah, we can get a dad bod and that's okay. Right.
100% agree. Yeah. I'm actually looking at like a little bit of like body dysmorphia, like getting a little bit of treatment for that. It is insane. Like, speaking of the 80s, like, I don't know if you guys remember Solid Gold. Remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like, I feel like that imprinted in my head of this, like, all these incredible women dancing in 3.5-inch heels. And they were just like such a spectacle. And like, I still have that in my head and I really want that to be that.
Or like the clubs, right? Like, you and you can come in, not you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that scene you always
Your
see.
Your friend's
in the movie
gonna stand here.
But that was real at high-end clubs where it was like, we want the most attractive to bring them in to spend all the money,
Yeah. Lookism is it's brutal. It's